Hello everyone. Fatty History here from Pack a Punch Traders. Gonna go over a couple plays today. I didn't trade anything. I've just been on the sidelines. I missed this great play. Uh, I actually forgot about that yesterday, ILAG. But I added it to the watch list later when I remembered it. I tweeted about it. So if you follow us, you got the alert. But here we are. This is what we usually talk about. We look for the failure to break lower and start breaking over the high day on demand after a few minutes of consolidation. And that consolidation, what we just talked about yesterday in a video lesson, was it's showing that it's able to hold. It's showing short sellers that it can't keep going lower. So when it starts breaking over the high a day with some decent volume, you have a little bit more conviction after a few minutes of it holding up already. So ILAG was just a great example here. Could have been a nice entry over 288, 290-ish here. Quickly got back into the low threes. Did not run for what we usually talk about, around that 30% average. But overall, still offered an opportunity. So if you take your quick 10, 15%, or 20% in this case, I think from 280, 290 here, um, it's all you need. So you lock in the gains into the spike as it's happening. That's something we usually talk about. Don't be selling into weakness. We're gonna be selling into the spike, and that's really it. I just really wanted to emphasize the entry here, how to really approach it. This was a great example, and I wanted to get it recorded, as well as GTII. I know this is an OTC, but this one also had another bounce play today. So we were looking at this. I think it was this day where it had a bounce play. But then all it did was go sideways. Not even trying to break higher. Not much volume. So we did head lower, and from there, I really should have kept the eye on it for a multi-day bounce. I didn't, but here we are. So this one, in this case, there wasn't really an opportunity to buy early on because the other one held up for a few minutes. This one had 1 minute of holding and then it just started bursting. So the place where I would have bought in this case is, I know it's a bit further than where I would be comfortable, but I would probably wait for something around 290, which in this case wasn't the best entry, but I wouldn't have really got stopped out. It came down to VWAP, held it. It was only 10 cents from 290-ish. Um, but around this area where it's trying to break to new highs, it's showing it's failing to break down here, and demand starts picking up a little bit. And the selling, as you can see with the volume below, starts dying off. Um, and that just leads to an even higher short squeeze. It just keeps going up and up. So this one had an incredible move today. Totally forgot about it, but just showing another variation of the multi-day bounce, because it's not always going to open up, go sideways for a few minutes, and then burst. So get used to trading it in different ways. Just, yeah, we'll just say it like that. um, what else was there with multi-day bounces? Failure here. Oh, another good call, actually. That's not a multi-day bounce. QNRX. Let me go to Twitter for this one, because this one was a pretty good alert, but I did mistime the alert. Just want to go over that. How it still did end up working out. The plan was good. It just needed a little bit extra time. You got to watch this up if you want to go look at everything else. But here we are. So QNRX looking interesting, having a hard time breaking down and trying again for the 260s. High day is 274, but most of the resistance is in the 260s. So if it can hold and shorts can't take over in the 260s, 70 VWAP area, it can lead to a squeeze to 3. And as usual, we're going to be eyeing volume for the confirmation. And I was tweeting that over here in this area. Um, it got stuffed. As we said, 260. That area was holding down pretty well. And what it needed to do was just fail to break down. As you can see, the outstanding shares is 1 million. So We know the float is at most going to be that much, probably less. Low market cap. That is a decent setup for a high daybreak pattern after at least an hour of consolidation. Look for that high at daybreak around noon, maybe later. Um, but here with this call, it got stuffed, and what really led to that whole move to the low threes is the failure to break down, and it triple bottomed in the 220s. And from there, as you can see, demand seemed pretty one sided. Demand started picking up. And this is where my plan would have applied again. So as you can see, it's just not the right time. But if you were to see that, keep it in mind for when it does come back to these key areas, as the thinking of the play was correct. So 274 might have been hard to buy, but like I said, 260s is where I saw as the main resistance. Even though 274 had the high a day, was the high a day, it seemed as though it just quickly tapped the 270s, where there was a few minutes of trading where I believe most of the players is going to be in the 260s area. And that was confirmed with the stuff in the 260s here. So when it came back, held the 250s, 260s, VWAP. This is a great area to start putting in a position, as it's making higher lows. It's above the VWAP, so it's above the average. It's on an uptrend. Demand is coming back. Let's look at the volume here. I know this is hindsight. It's much easier, but looking at it over and over and over again will make it easier in the moment. So excessive volume really coming through. There was nothing on the fade here. On the way down, it held, and right away with this candle here, you can see it with the volume. It starts perking up. Selling. Very weak. That's something we usually talk about. We're looking for that as an indicator to, I kind of said that wrong. We're looking at that to indicate possible future price increases. And then we got that confirmation again when it held the VWAP, and we got some more demand coming through, and that's what led to the massive short squeeze from the 260s to 320s. So as we usually talk about, trend and volume, I think, are really the best indicators to focus on. And that's really all I used here. Just basic resistance support levels. Besides the VWAP, I was really just eyeing the volume and its trend. Combining that with a few other things like float, which, it's a super low float. Considering the volume it's doing, I wasn't really too concerned about the overall volume. I saw it was strong on the day. I was really worried about it coming back, because you can see a little bit of perk in volume, but then it can easily get stuffed. So it's really hard to judge sometimes in the moment. Um, as we can see here, this is what it would have looked like. But yeah, that's what we're really breaking it down to, is trend and volume. That's really what I look for. And yeah, so that was a good call. I just wanted to go over that, the thinking behind it, how I would have played this. I just totally missed it. Just happened much later than I expected. But yeah, so I think that's kind of the lesson with today. Once again, demand and trend, as well as selling into the spikes. And I guess another lesson of the day is it's okay to not trade every day. I didn't trade today. I missed a couple decent plays. It's okay. I'm not too worried about it. There'll probably be something tomorrow. Just got to be meticulous. And when I'm not comfortable, or if I'm ignoring the market, whatever I got going on, don't stress about it, because early in my journey, I would always stress about any move that I miss, or if I butcher it, whatnot, miss time. And it just made the process more exhausting. I really just put a lot more pressure on myself. And that's not always a bad thing, to put some pressure on yourself. But I was always negative about my approach, and it just wasn't healthy. Let's just say that. Once I started accepting these things and making a better schedule for myself and letting these things go, trading becomes a bit more relaxing. Believe it or not, it can be a bit relaxing. Um, So yeah, we'll just wrap it up there. Hope everyone had a good day. Learned something here from QNRX, ILAG, or GTII. Some decent plays. I'm kind of getting tired and rambly right now, so we'll just wrap this up. We'll catch you all later. I already got the video lesson going over the top plays for tomorrow out, as well as the watch list. If I remember anything, I'll be on Twitter alerting that, so keep an eye out for that. We'll catch you all later, and have a great one.